Welcome to The Link. I'm Joanie Sutter, your host. The Link is a program all about linking you with the resources that are in your community. On today's show, we're talking theater, youth theater that is, bringing together the best of community and educational theater for children and teens in Connecticut. The company's programs include Kids on Stage productions, the Teen Company, stage play, and stage performance classes, improv, homeschool enrichment, community outreach programs, and a whole lot more. Joining me today is Darren Farrington, who's the Executive Director for the New Britain Youth Theater. Thank you so much, Darren, for being here on The Link today.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Let's start with, we're calling it the New Britain Youth Theater, but it doesn't just have members who are from New Britain. So let's talk about that.
Not at all. We began in New Britain. We are headquartered in New Britain, but we have drawn participating children and teens from over 50 different towns throughout Connecticut, actually. I'd say about 1/3 of our children come from New Britain, many from the immediately surrounding towns and towns that Nutmeg serves also. But we've drawn children from throughout Hartford County and east of the river and near New Haven and Waterbury and from Litchfield County.
Well, that's probably because there are very few theater programs in the state. You know more about that than I do, but I know as an adult, there's very little opportunity for people to get involved in theater. There's community theater pretty much in most towns, but another level, let's say, for theater where there's actually classes, there's different types of theaters, you know, the improv section that you have, sections that are just for teens only, and then little ones. So how did this evolve? Because you are a nonprofit organization.
We are. We began with a request from the New Britain School District to provide some after-school theater programming. There are community theaters in New Britain already. There are many organizations that serve children and youth and teens, but no one was doing theater programs in New Britain for the kids there. And a friend of mine and I put together this proposal to bring some after-school programs in theater. It quickly developed into 2 schools, 3 schools, and then we started talking, well, this is not just 1 or 2 programs. Let's begin a theater. Let's incorporate it. Let's make it nonprofit. We'll have auditions. And in the past few years, it has grown and grown each year. And
a little bit about your background, because you come to us from Torrington.
Yes.
And probably some other things before that, but you were involved with the Warner Theater, which is a wonderful theater.
I was. I worked there. I've worked in many different levels of theater, actually. I studied theater in New York, went to school in New York, worked there for a while, came back into Connecticut where my family is, where my family lives now. I've been in regional, off-Broadway, on-Broadway community theaters. I really enjoy working with the kids. So I have some experience. This is my favorite area to work in.
This is the niche. Now, as executive director, do you still get involved with some of the fun stuff?
Absolutely. I have taken on kind of the role of artistic director in the last couple of years also, working with an advisory committee and our board members, choosing productions, and I've also directed some of our productions and run some of our classes.
Okay, let's talk about some of the classes, because in that the school system came to you and said, hey, Darren, you know, can you help us out? And you did, and snowballed, and now you said, okay, let's make this a not-for-profit. Some of the programs that you're offering now, you've got some new ones, but let's run through the list, because if you're watching this program, you may be watching it in the summer, you may be watching it in the fall, different times of year. Auditions are typically held in what part of the season?
We run concurrently with a school year almost, so we begin new programs in September. when school starts. We have auditions always in September for
Okay.
shows that are coming up. We've been doing a big holiday production in December, and we get started early in the fall, in September,
Okay,
with
so
auditions.
auditions. And does someone need to be a member of the
Absolutely
organization?
not. Anybody can come from any town, as we said.
Okay.
We have restrictions based on the show that we're doing for different age groups. Some we do just children under 10, some we do only teenagers, some are at middle elementary school. Some we want to make a big splashy production, and we do everyone from age 6 through 18.
Well, you just completed not long ago Beauty and the Beast.
Right,
I would think
right.
that would be a pretty big production.
That was a large production with a large cast with a big range of ages in it too. And we do the same thing with our holiday production. Try to make it a big, wide age range show.
I bet you the kids are infectious with their excitement.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've seen school concerts where they work so hard, and you can just feel it from the audience. They're up on stage and they're presenting their material that they've learned. But in the theater, it must be even more so because they're playing a role.
Absolutely.
And then they're so proud that they completed that.
And the excitement when they get their script and we get started for the first time, and then when they get measured for their costumes and they get their costumes, and when they see the scenery for the first time, it's so much fun to just watch them and their reaction to it.
We're going to talk about costumes in a minute. Let's go back to classes and programs. So, Kids on Stage, a family series of plays for young actors 8 to 14.
Right, and we play with that age range a little bit, expanding it for some shows. Depending on the production and how many actors we think we need, it will sometimes go younger and higher,
Okay,
as we
dependent.
did in the summer.
Then little kids. So we're
Little
talking,
kids.
how little do you take?
Depending on the program, again, classes we start at 5.
Okay.
Auditions we start at 6. This Little Kids on Stage program is for children 6 through 9
Okay.
to
And
be in productions of their own.
scaled down versions that
Right,
they can
right.
certainly handle. So listen up if this is something that you're interested in for your child, or if you're a kid looking to get involved. Tell mom and dad. So Teen Company, what are they doing?
Teen Company, we challenge them. We push that. We've done American classics like Our Town. We have done Shakespeare, already Macbeth, and
Oh,
A
those are-
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yeah, those are heavy.
We have done musical reviews where the teens themselves get involved in choosing what the themes and the songs and what the whole production will look like. We have done some production workshops with the teens too, so those who want can get involved in costuming and designing and promoting and producing and planning.
Right, because you may be, your child or you, if, may be interested in working in theater and not as an actor.
Right,
And
right,
there's-
yeah.
It's not going to happen
Teens
without.
are absolutely welcome to come to us to help backstage too. They're always welcome. And a lot of schools now will take the work they do for us and count that as community service.
Hey, that's great.
Yes.
That's really great, because I think that's important to, have that collaborative effort going on. Now, the summer programs, you will have a summer program, so school gets out, and then you do offer something. Is it a full
Right.
day, half day?
It is. We have been doing a half a day. We do it in a New Britain school.
Yeah?
It leads to a big major musical, which we were just saying, Beauty and the Beast, this past summer.
Okay. So that's good. And then after school, now we're going to talk about after school and during school. So after school, which is really how this whole thing started, is when school is over, the child can come and be a part of this program
Right.
until 5 o'clock or 6.
It's set up through schools. Any school district that's interested in doing this is welcome to contact us too. We have gone also into Plainville. We've done some programs in Bristol.
Wonderful.
We do some programming in Hartford.
Okay, you're kind of
So
all over.
we go in either during the school day or when the school day ends, and can offer a program until, as you said, 5:30 until parents are able to come pick up. And we give those kids a basic overview of a lot of different elements of theater. We create a show. Everything we do has a goal of putting on some performance, but the process is really important too.
Yes.
We involve those after-school kids in reading and writing and being real creative and creating some short performance of their own too.
And organization. I mean, you know, putting on a performance like that, you've got to have supervisory roles. You've got to have roles that are you know, creative in their aspects. You've got to have organization and know what has to happen when, timeline. So these are all really good learning things outside of the acting
Yes, absolutely.
Side of it. Now you're going to offer a during school program. This is new this year?
This is something we've done a little bit in the past by request. We've done it in Hartford through a great organization there called Hartford Performs, which brings arts organizations into the schools. So we have taken these programs that we've done here and there and organized them into offerings that we can promote to any school district now, to go into the classroom and do some arts integration programs
That's wonderful.
that can tie in with lessons that they're teaching.
So you've kind of vetted this out, the process, the tried and the true, what's working, what's not working. You know, we talked earlier before the show started, maybe there's a child who's put into the course that maybe wasn't their idea, it was parents' idea, or maybe a teacher recommended, but once they're in the program, they're really kind of liking what's going on.
Yes, absolutely. That almost always happens.
And maybe getting more excited to go on and continue, which is good.
We've had many kids who start reluctantly in an after-school program who end up coming back and auditioning to be in bigger shows with us and stay year after year.
Now, acting, improv, musical theater classes, Saturday mornings, other workshops that are they outside of the regular school day? So is that different? So do you have a workshop and then a school program? How would that work?
We do. We have classes that we hold on Saturday mornings, as you said, in acting, in musical theater. We've begun a chorus recently. We're adding, beginning this fall, a dance class also, musical theater dance.
Oh, what's that about?
It is for actors who are not dancers. It's a class not for the little girl or boy who's been taking dance since they were 2 or 3 or 4 years old, but someone who wants to be in a musical with us or in their school musical and
you got to be able to move.
Just does not have much dancing experience, but needs to get through that dance audition, or maybe wants to brush up their steps a little bit to be a better dancer for musicals. So that's what we're going to.
That's wonderful.
Right.
That's really
so
wonderful.
all these classes are offered on Saturday mornings, outside of our other programs, outside of after school, outside of auditioning. So anyone can register for these too.
Okay, and the information's at the end of the show. The information's all there, the website's there, and you can contact Darren about doing that. What's the audition process like for somebody who's thinking, well, maybe my kid would be interested in this, or a child's thinking, I really want to do this, but what's it like?
We make it absolutely as low pressure as possible.
So what happens?
The audition is almost always more about just coming in and getting comfortable with us and giving us, the directors, the musical director or choreographer, a chance to see the children work together too. Auditions usually will involve some kind of icebreaker game and getting to know each other.
That's a good idea.
A little bit, depending on what we're auditioning for. There might be a dance audition, a music audition, reading from a script a little. One thing we do, though, is unless we have a really overwhelming number of children come, we put everybody who comes into a role. So we never turn anybody away. So the audition really is to just decide who will get which part. When it comes to our teens, though, again, we challenge them a little bit more. They will usually have to come with some monologue prepared. And again, we try to cast everybody, but...
Do you have understudies?
We have not usually. And we have been
Lucky.
to not need. We have, in a few cases, have to have somebody take over a role very quickly, with just a week or two's notice before performances. And
it's been pulled off.
It's
I'm
worked
thinking
out.
of maybe a child who goes through the audition process, and you think, wow, okay, that's going to be, and then, there's problems learning lines, or it turns out that there's too many other pressures, and it falls by the wayside, and so you would then place somebody else in that role, I would think. Now, if no one's in that, they're outside of the audition process, or maybe they got their role, or they don't want to go through the audition process, then they would attend some of the workshops and classes that you have to offer.
Right.
Which there's really no pressure with either.
Exactly. It's you enroll for the class, you're in the class. And as I said, with our after-school programs, every class we offer ends with a short performance. It might be 10, 15 minutes or a little bit longer, depending on the number of children involved and what they're doing. But it gives the kids a chance to perform. It gives the parents and any other family, friends they'd like to invite to see a little bit like a recital.
Sure.
To compare it to music. A few short scenes or songs or dances to show off what they've learned.
Absolutely. Where are these held, and how long are they typically?
Our classes are an hour each.
Okay.
Usually we have some special workshops in various things occasionally, in dance, or in the past we brought in a couple of Broadway performers to lead a workshop, and those might last 2 or 3 hours.
How exciting.
We do some workshops that are tied specifically into productions that we have coming up, such as Romeo and Juliet will have a stage combat workshop for teenagers. And we hold these at our headquarters at the New Britain YMCA.
Okay. Very easy to get to.
Right, it is downtown New Britain.
Oh, great facility, right up the highway.
Right next to the library.
Yeah, it's a beautiful building.
Youth Museum, not far from the park and the art museum.
Right.
So for parents who may be even dropping off their kids and want to bring some other kids or go themselves somewhere.
You are, sorry to interrupt, you are working collaboratively with the museum too, because I think you will have a performance there in the upcoming?
Yes, we have tried to work with a lot of organizations in New Britain and have done so successfully. I love when we can collaborate with other groups. We have done an outdoor performance on the grounds of the Art Museum, and we are planning to do more.
That's wonderful, and we're happy that the kids were also here and did something for television, and so we look forward to more of that. So the information's at the end of the screen. We've only got 5 minutes left. Can we talk about costumes?
Sure.
Who does all that, and the music?
We have such a remarkable team of people. I happen to be the only full-time employee of the theater, but
oh my.
It takes dozens,
absolutely,
dozens of people to make what we do happen. Our directors and stage managers are compensated for their time. Our musical director and choreographer, the same. We have wonderful people working with us.
And you have some great corporate sponsors that I see: American Savings, United Way, the Fund for Greater Hartford,
Community Foundation of Greater New Britain,
Charitable Foundation, TD Bank.
Yeah, and the City of New Britain, the State Arts Office has also been very supportive.
Greater Hartford Arts Council, Greater Hartford Arts Council, and Connecticut, still revolutionary.
The Connecticut Tourism and
Okay,
Arts.
that's wonderful, because I can't even imagine. We know how it is to work with volunteers here at Nutmeg TV, and sometimes something comes up and a volunteer isn't going to show up. And
We're fortunate that I've got some parents who have some theater experience, know exactly what they're doing when it comes to costuming, and have created, designed, built, found, borrowed, made some fabulous things, and many other parents have stepped in to help with this also. So
What a great effort. And you, how old is the organization now?
6.5 years.
That's,
We're still pretty young.
And yes, and look what you've accomplished. Now, do all those costumes go into some kind of a waiting area or like a storage area? Because you might need to pull something for...
They do, actually. It's a great question. We are, for the second or third time, running out of space in our short history. We started with a closet, and
yeah, no more.
And now we're filling a full room with costumes. We've
even props.
Same with props, same with set pieces. We build some things that we hate to break down, and
give us an example.
And are very willing to rent these out to other theaters too. Snoopy's Doghouse for a Charlie Brown Christmas, Chip's Tea Cart from Beauty and the Beast. Things we want to save.
Absolutely, yes.
Sometimes, you know, a wall we will paint over and over and over again and use it for every show. But some of these things are such specially made pieces that we don't want to get rid of them.
I had the opportunity to visit the Harvard Stage Company's off-site building where they house and make a lot of their props. It was fascinating. But there were all these things, you know, the sleigh for Santa and different pieces that they don't want to get rid of and use. And then they have to create some. And then they had period costuming, you know, like you said, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet. I mean, you've got to go back to the research.
We're going to put our Romeo and Juliet in 1967, actually.
Are you?
Yeah.
This is a teen performance.
It's a teen performance, and
okay, the hippie.
We're going to put it back to the summer of love.
Yes.
But we've done Great Expectations in the Victorian period. We have done Tom Sawyer in the 1800s. We've had early 1900s, mid 20th century. So we have a lot of period costumes.
How
too.
lucky they are to have you, because you bring all this, but you've got to be the funnel to bring all these people together.
Exactly. Yeah. How lucky they are, and we are to have everybody
the
that
whole
works
group.
with us.
That's great. So remember the New Britain Youth Theater, and please look at the website and for more information. You can answer the questions when they call, or
absolutely.
A member of your team?
Please check our website, nbyt.org. Call us, 860-515-8115. We are happy to go into schools, let anyone from any town come to us. We never turn anybody away. We try to make that happen. It's an important part of our mission.
Yes, it's great. Great to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And we look forward to having some performances on Nutmeg TV.
We want to do that.
Good. On behalf of all of us at Nutmeg TV, I'm Joanie Sutter. Until next time.